Hi, it's Clark on Temptress. Today I'm going to do a review of this, the Wavlink AX3000 Wi-Fi access point. I'm going to go into whether it's good or bad and it works for me and such and all that good stuff, how to set it up. But more importantly, to my audience, I'm going to tell you how to use this to get better or possibly free internet on your boat or camper. This device would also be handy if you wanted to transmit your existing Wi-Fi signal out over a longer range, like if you had a farm or something, you know, where you want to be able to connect, but not just when you're in your house. Okay, this is the actual unit. It's rather inexpensive as, you know, useful things go. It's $189 on Amazon right now. If you go down in the description, I'll have an affiliate link. If you want one, I'd appreciate you using that. I get $1 or something. Anyway, it's pretty easy to set up. You get the thing here, you get these antennas, you screw the antennas right into the top. There's a little label that's a little hard to read that tells you the frequency of each port. And the antennas are well marked for the frequency. Just make sure you match them up. There's 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz antennas. And I think it's 2.4, 5 gig, 2.4, and 5. But, you know, read them, get them right. I didn't the first time. The only other thing on the device is an Ethernet plug down here. It comes with kind of a waterproof, water resistant at least, but downward facing, which is important. Screw-in adapter, and I had this installed on my house for like almost a month, so I'm going to put it back. I like it. I'm not going to show you that because I didn't want to take it off, but it's just that you get yourself a long Ethernet cable that gets you to where you need to go, and that's about it. It comes with this setup. Let me get it out for you. This is what's called a power over Ethernet injector. Now, this will go at the end of that Ethernet cable. And you could just stop there. You know, the Ethernet cable you end up using would get plugged into here. I think this says PoE. The other side says LAN connection. If you wanted to hook it to your existing system and just broadcast it harder and outside, you'd hook this to your regular internet modem, you know, however you'd get it. But you don't really need to if you're going to use it the way I'm using it. Like if you put this on the boat, you would need the Ethernet cable really just for initial setup possibly and to get the power to it. If you're in a house with AC power, you would power it with this. This plugs right into this injector, just a barrel connector, and plugs into the wall. You turn on the little switch and bang, it powers up, everything's good. But on a boat or camper, you'd have to run this thing off of AC power, so you would need an inverter, and who wants to bother with that and all the waste? So get one of these or something like it, and again, there's a link in the description. I think this would work great. Power over Ethernet is usually 48 volts. This one is 54, but anything in that range is going to work fine, most likely. I found one that was actually 54. So you would grab that thing, you would solder on your own barrel connector of the same size, make sure you get the polarities right, you're good to go. And now it runs right off your 12-volt system. Now, when is it useful? Why would you want one of these things? Like I said, it would be handy, kind of the way they probably planned on you using it, when you have a source of internet, you know, an Ethernet cable, and you just want to get it out farther. You can either do that by hooking that directly to this over the Ethernet, or you can use it, like I'm going to describe, as a repeater. It does have a very nice repeater mode, and that's what I think would be most useful for us. So how many times have you been out with your boat or camper or just out and about, and you've noticed, I've got a signal here for a Wi-Fi, and it's like that marina just over there or the restaurant that I went to for dinner last night. And, you know, I know their password because they shared it with me, except it just doesn't work. Either I can't connect at all, I can see it exists, but I can't connect, or I can connect, but it's just so slow, it just doesn't work. This is what's handy. If you were in a marina and you were just like way out at the end of the dock and you had that kind of problem. It's pretty common. This is going to boost that signal up for you. You might be in the mooring field of that marina and you just have no coverage out there. It's very common. Again, this could do it for you. And then, there's just a lot of times when you're just anchored out and you can see that situation is available to you. Well, this lets you take advantage of it. Over the years, whenever that would happen to me, I would pull out something like this. This is a Wi-Fi receiver transmitter. This one's called Alpha. I've had good luck with these little guys, but they're not at all waterproof. And I would literally wrap them in a bag and then get an Ethernet cable with an amplifier in it, which is a pain in the butt anyway, just to find, because it's got to be long for this to work. And then I would haul it up the mast and I would get better connections, but I could only connect to one PC that had an Ethernet connection. This, once you get it up and running and configured, it just gives you this other station ID, its own station ID that's available if you have the password, and it's good and powerful. So you could put this outside. Of course, when you arrive somewhere new, you'd have to go into it and tell it, hey, go listen to that one, and then rebroadcast it. And you should have some good long range, and I think things would work well for you. As far as the configuration of it, it comes with these little manuals. The only one you really need is the quick start guide. Strangely enough, the quick start guide is the thickest one of all of them. Tells you how to physically assemble it and install it, but most importantly, it tells you what you need to do to configure it. The biggest thing you need to figure out, the way I'm using it, is you want to configure it as an FAT access point. So in its own parlance, FAT AP. And then you want to just set it up as a repeater and tell it what to repeat. I connected to it over the Ethernet with my laptop because, I had a laptop with an Ethernet connection. If you don't, it tells you how to, but you could just do it with your phone or whatever that has a Wi-Fi connection, because this has a known Wi-Fi that lets you go in and configure it. And there you go. I'm not going to go through the details of how to do it because it was just so painless. Usually these manuals are a little hard to read. This one really wasn't. You might have to read it twice, but everything you need is there, and the language is well done. And the main reason I'm not going to go through it is because it was so easy. I don't even remember how I did it. I sat down and in 10 minutes, it was up and working. Once you get it up and working, not only will it work for, what you configured it with, it'll also work for any Wi-Fi device that knows its password. So, if you have a phone and a tablet and this and that, it'll all work. Also, the range off this thing is really quite impressive. I'm in a neighborhood here, so there's houses and trees and cars and everything. And I could walk halfway around my block and still get connected to this thing. That's better than I've seen from anything like this. So I think this does a decent job. I think it's a reasonable price. It looks waterproof as all heck. I think this is a pretty cool deal. Okay, to test this out, I needed a situation that would mirror what I've seen so many times out on the boat. I needed a Wi-Fi connection that I can see on my phone that it's there, but I can't connect to it. I need the password, of course, but still it's just so weak. It just doesn't work in any practical way. Well, I'm in my neighborhood and I've got friends, so I asked my friend across the road, hey, what's your password? And told him what we're going to do. And he said, yeah, sure, here you go. So I did the same thing. If he was a restaurant, they would have the password posted. Same kind of a deal. So I told this guy how to get to that guy's network. This guy has way better antennas than my cell phone has, and he connected strongly. Then I just connect my cell phone and my laptop and everything to this guy's new SSID and type in the new password that I set up for it, and bang, it's working. Now, I've been running this for a while. I put it together to see if it worked, and it worked. It works so well that I can't tell the difference in speed between this and the wired one I have in the house. So I just kept using it. We're two guys that really aren't heavy users. I guess I am, but I am during midday when he's not watching TV, uploading YouTube videos. But that's once a week for 4 gigabytes, and then I'm done. So I've just been using my neighbors, and it's worked really well. So I know this would work well for you in the field if you have a similar situation. For the price, I think this might be a very useful tool for many of us, be it to grab a weak public signal or to broadcast your own signal over a much longer distance. If you've got a farm or something and you want to get it out there, this is the thing. And if you've got a boat that moves around and you're just trying to find an internet connection where you are, this could very well be the thing. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hope you found it useful. Comment if you have any comments, please, because you might have more experience with this than I do, and everyone can read that. And bye from Clark on Temptress.